is seen by 35 million viewers every Tuesday night on television's #1 hit series, Roseanne. She is the other outspoken, controversial, and wisecracking star. Let's take a look.
Mom, Darlene won't let me put the beds next to each other so Mark and I can sleep together tonight.
Just so I know, who am I supposed to be mad at?
I am not moving to DJ's room so she and my dork-in-law can conceive some demon spawn in my bed. I'm gonna go sit on my bed until morning.
Please help me welcome the smart and sassy Sara Gilbert. Sassy, huh?
Thank you.
Okay. Smart, yes, because you're going to Yale.
Yeah, I am.
And you were there this weekend?
I was there. It was great.
Yeah, is it very exciting?
It was really exciting. And, you know, I accepted before I'd actually seen the school, so there was kind of a lot resting on it. So it was such a beautiful campus, and I was really relieved.
Now, you're going to go for 4 years, you think?
Yeah.
What's that going to do to you on Roseanne?
Well, I guess that I'm not going to be able to be on every episode. I'm probably going to, you know, try and come back for shows or work something out. But Roseanne and Marcy Carsey, the producer, have been so wonderful in handling this and everything that I'm really grateful.
Were you scared when you said, I want to go to college, I want to go in the East? Were you scared they might say, well, you're going to have an episode where you die? You know, that's
well, you know, still might happen.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
Oh, gosh, she was hit by a car. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big fear, but it's something that you have to give up. I mean, that's just the kind of chances you have to take.
Oh, I think it's the best thing you could do because you're really giving yourself a big... Except, are you also scared, like, Brooke Shields, who I think is wonderful, but I think she had such a momentum going in her career, and she went away to Princeton, and it never got back on track again. She has an okay career now, but it's not what was going on before Princeton.
Right. Well, I mean, that's not really a big concern of mine because who's to say my career would continue the way it is if I didn't go?
Yeah.
So I figure if I go, I'll have a backup, and what I really want to do is direct. Like, you know, the T-shirts say.
Right, yeah, I know.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
So hopefully, you know, I'll get a chance to do that. And so when I come back, I'll be older and probably in a better position to do that. And if not, I'm going to be a psych major anyway, so I would be just as happy probably to be a psychologist.
And out there, you'll make a bundle. Just have all the people you know come to you as patients.
Exactly.
What about directing? You're how old?
I'm 17.
17. Now, you want to direct. You're obviously very smart. You got into Yale. Have you ever gone to Roseanne yet and said, I want to direct? And have they let you? Have they let you help direct? Or...
Well, I've sat in the booth many times, but I think since I'm asking, like, to leave this year, I don't want to, like, you know, can I leave? Oh, and also, can I direct? You know.
Before I leave, can I direct? Now, what about your mother? Now, your mother's your manager.
Right.
She's thrilled you're going to Yale, but she's also going to lose some money now. Right? Because she gets 15%, and 50% of nothing. You're going to send her a book? You know, it's like...
Well, I think, I mean, I know to her the most important thing is my education, and she's actually the one who's really been there for me and supported me and really thought that that was the best choice for me to make.
Tell me about the family. Now, Melissa Gilbert's your sister, and your brother is?
Jonathan.
Jonathan, okay. Now, some of you were adopted, because I know all of you. I know your mother. Your mother and I took the MACE course together, so we got very friendly. Except she went in my dining room and tried it out in there, and we couldn't go in the dining room. I said, go outside, and Barbara walked in the dining room. And, Melissa's adopted. Melissa adopted?
Melissa and Jonathan.
Adopted. Did you feel, and your mother and your father, you were the natural child, as they say?
Right.
Right. How did it make... Did you feel guilty growing up ever? Do you know what I'm saying?
Not at all. I never really think about it because it was never an issue. You know, they have been in the family long before I was.
Yeah.
And I never even think about it, so I don't really have an answer because I've never given it much consideration, and I don't think they really have either.
Now, you grew up, all of you, in really a Beverly Hills environment. The good schools, no, you know, affluent parents, a nice car and all that. When you look at Beverly Hills 90210, do you just go, yeah, or do you go, are you kidding?
You know, I have a confession to make.
Uh-oh.
I've never seen it. So I don't
never looked at it once.
So a friend had it on one time for like 10 minutes, so I didn't really get a good idea. I mean, I don't really watch TV. So.
I don't watch it. I don't either, so don't get crazy.
Okay.
What do you... that just threw me because I had a very good question to ask you. What do you watch? Do you watch other people for competition at all? Do you say, like, Jesse, turn this on and look at it a little bit? Were you up for Beverly Hills 902? You should have been up for it. Your age would have been right.
Well, I think I was working on this show, actually.
All righty, when that happened, that's...
Right.
What were you up for before this show?
Before this show, well, actually, right before this show, this is a good story. I was up for, there was a spin-off of The Facts of Life, and they called me back like 5 times, and I was sure I was going to get it, and then I didn't get it, and they told me the reason I didn't get it was because I didn't have enough experience to do a sitcom, and that I should get formal training if I was serious about acting. So then, like, the next week I got Roseanne, so it was great. And I ran into the casting director the other day.
And did you say, ha, 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 nicely?
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I wasn't really that nice about it. I was more, you know, sarcastic about it.
What did you say?
I was just talking to her about it and, you know, telling her, you know, thanks for not hiring me and everything. And she said they actually hired Mayim Bialik. And the reason they hired her, she told me, was because Mayim came in with a trumpet, and so they were looking for a kid with a comic twist. Oh. So, like, since I didn't bring an instrument in, I guess I lost.
Does it ever get you nuts when they say such a stupid thing like that? She came in kooky, you know what I mean?
Right.
Do you ever try to, like, go along with what they want? They didn't think you were going to be funny because you didn't have, like, a gimmick, right?
Right, I guess. I mean, Mayim's a great actress and a good friend of mine, and I really like her. But, yeah, you know, I can't... That's just not my personality, you know.
How did you get started in acting? Did your mom, or how did, like, Melissa was all innocent, obviously she was a child. Were you just expected to go into it, or did they wait for you to say, I want to do it, or?
It was really my decision. When I was 6 years old, I decided that I wanted to be an actor. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that my family was in the business, so I just recognized that it was a reality and not, you know, something that I couldn't do myself.
What about Roseanne? Is she tough to work with, easy to work with? I love Roseanne, by the way, so we should start with that.
Okay.
Now say something mean. That's because I'm covered.
Roseanne is great. I love working with her, and she's just been wonderful.
What was all the problems in the beginning? Do you remember the first 2 years, or the first year, the writers were quitting, and everyone was screaming, they were saying Roseanne was a tyrant. Do you remember all that stuff?
Yeah.
And was she right or wrong? We'll talk in a second. They were saying go to commercial. We'll be back with more in a moment, so stay tuned. Talking with Sara Gilbert. Now that was from a clip from Poison Ivy with Drew Barrymore. That's some hot love scene there. Yeah. How did you feel when they said, well, you're going to kiss each other, girls? When you read the script, did you say, ugh? Or I am an actress?
You know, it was very in context with the character. And, you know, to me, it wasn't like a big love scene. It was like I was infatuated with her because she, you know, made herself so seductive. And I also thought that she was my mother when I was kissing her. And then realized when I pulled away that it wasn't her because I was hallucinating because I hit my head and on and on. And her thing was just that she had to be so seductive and control everything. So it really made sense in the characters, and once you're into your character, it's not like you yourself are doing it.
And Drew was on the show. It's another one I liked very much. I didn't think I was going to like her, and boy, I liked her a lot. Let's see the clip of Drew. She was talking about the same thing, too. This might interest you. You can watch up there
We started
or there.
the take, and we were just, like, kissing and everything. And then we did a few takes. We did, like, 3 or 4 takes like that. And then the director just got up and says, okay, you guys are both really daring. Just go for it. So we just really went for it. And we, like, opened our eyes right before the take, and we just saw the crew, and everybody was like... And we just started giggling and being really silly about it. We kept laughing in the middle of the kiss, and we had to do it over and over again.
You're both very young girls. You're both 17. Mm-hmm. That's a very hot... When did you learn about all these things? I don't think at 17 I was aware of lesbian relationships and things like that. It was a different generation, obviously.
Right.
I had 2 aunts that were very, 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 very close. But I thought they just hadn't met the right guy, you know. And then one met him and she borrowed his shoes. But I mean, it was like...
Well, you know, I mean, definitely I think that people are more aware now. And again, I don't really feel that it was a lesbian relationship. Not that I would have anything against doing a project like that, but this particular one I feel was more about manipulation and more about those kind of things than that either girl was gay. So...
What about Drew? Did you stay friends? Have you stayed friends with people you've worked with, or do you find you get very close? Then, you know, it's like you go to camp with people, and we'll be friends forever, and by November you never hear from them again. I mean, it's...
Right. No, Drew and I talk occasionally. She's great, and we get along wonderfully. And
who are your friends? In the business, out of the business?
Yeah, most of my friends are in the business, mostly guys.
Yeah. It's interesting. Why?
I just relate better, I guess. Just because of, I guess, my personality, feel that relationships with guys are more honest.
Yeah, I do
There's
too.
no competition. You know, it's just a comfortable relationship for me to be in.
And when a man says to you, you look good in that, he really means you look good in that.
Right.
He's not really saying you look fat in that, so please wear it a lot.
Right.
Not that it's with all women, but with some women, that
Right.
still goes on. Now, you live at home, obviously.
Yeah.
Are people saying the time you moved out? 'Cause the minute somebody's successful in our business, they feel they shouldn't live at home. Has that been beginning with you? Remember that Melissa moved behind the house. Am I right? Yeah, okay. And is that little cottage still there for you when the time comes?
Yeah,
or is it a different house?
I mean, I could move there now if I wanted to.
Right.
It's like something like 14 feet away from the main part of the house, so it's really a daring move.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think I'd rather stay in my own room if I'm going to be in the house. I am going to stay at home because I'm leaving for college, just like 7 months after I would turn 18, so there's really no point.
What's your room like? Because we're doing a lot of research, and your room comes up in every single article.
Right.
Yeah. Why?
You know, I don't think it's that amazing or anything. It's just, like, kind of eclectic junk, you know? There's signs and trolls and just stuff and toys and
Is it
all
60s?
that.
Someone told me it's very 60s.
Yeah, I think there's a 60s aspect to it, kind of mixed with modern, you know, because it's like white walls and black carpet. And there's black splatter paint on the ceiling, but then there's also, like, a big Woodstock poster. And the bands I like are older, so posters from those bands.
If you had to live again, would you live in the 60s? Is that, like, what you think is good times? 70s, 80s? Which of the 3 decades are you enamored with?
Well, you know, I'm really intrigued by the 60s, but it's hard to picture yourself living in a different era. And,
Yeah.
you know, so I'm definitely very happy to be in the environment that I'm in now. I just think it'd be cool to spend, like, a couple weeks in the 60s. Like,
That's between May 7th and June 18th, it was really good in 1963. What about, now you've been successful since you were how old? How old were you when Roseanne went on?
13, I think.
13.
Yeah.
My God, it's on forever. What happened in your life that changed? Were you given more privileges? I mean, what changed in your life the minute you became a major hit?
Nothing really changed except for, as far as being famous, I lost some privacy, which I'm sure everybody talks about. Nothing, as far as my personal life, that basically stayed the same, and yeah, I got more privileges because I was getting older, but nothing really had to do with the fact that I was on a show.
When we come back, I want to talk about, you said you lost privacy. I want to know if people grab you the street and think that Roseanne is your real mother, because I'm sure that may happen. We'll be back with more in a moment, so please stay tuned.
This producer that she fired that I strangled, I never strangled him until I was
deserved
provoked. But I want to say another thing, too. I'm real proud of her, the little woman here, because she went in there, and after I'd done this strangling thing, which doesn't usually get you too far, she went in there. They tried to fire me is what happened, and from the show, and I'm like her writer, and then the guy comes in and he says, you know, he's smoking a cigar, he says, you know, it's too bad. You're real funny, Tom, and you're a good writer, but if you work with Roseanne, maybe we could work together. You know, it's on her show. He's got this weird idea.
Yeah,
anyway,
it's like delusions of grandeur.
So after
he strangled him, I went in there and I go, you have a slight problem here. You know, you think this is a democracy, and the thing is, it's not a democracy, it's a queendom. You're out of here.
We are back talking with Sara Gilbert. Obviously, she was right. Whatever she did, whoever she fired, the show got better.
Right.
So she was right. Did you realize that when all that turmoil was going on?
You know, I really didn't see a lot of the turmoil because I was really young. I mean, I'm still young, but I was younger, and I was in school most of the time, and so I wasn't really around for that.
Because does Roseanne have a great deal to do with the show? Because it certainly comes across as her vision.
Right. She does have a lot to do with the show, and I think that keeps the show personal and keeps it interesting.
What was your favorite episode? Or one of your favorites?
Actually, one of my favorites has nothing to do with me, but the episode where Laurie Metcalf, her character is Jackie, is in like a local production of Cyrano de Bergerac. I thought that was a really funny episode.
What was the least favorite? What was one you said, oh, get me out of this, God?
Oh, the one where I had to get my period in the show.
Did you just go, oh, and they go on.
It was just high on the embarrassment factor, and I'm reliving it thanks to the audience.
Do people think you're really her daughter? There must be a lot of that.
Yeah, actually, some people do. They'll come up and they'll think that she's my mom and go, hey, you're Roseanne's daughter. Where is she? I don't know.
Yeah. Do her children come on the set?
Occasionally. I see her son, Jake.
Come by. What about the Emmy? I think it's such a wonderful show, truly. I think, you know, it holds us up. It is exactly what it is. Never got an Emmy for Best Sitcom.
Never been nominated.
Never been nominated. Do you think it's political?
I guess, you know, maybe the show's not like artsy enough or, you know, I don't know what it is. You know, but the most important thing to me is just to make a show that is quality and that, you know, sends out either a good message or a message that questions people's beliefs or that gets people thinking is more important than an award show to me.
Now, you're very smart, and you're thinking. Obviously, you're already very political in California, right? So what are the causes? And yet you can't vote yet.
That's a shame.
It's all right. You'll get it before you know it. What are some of the things you've been working on?
I work a lot for the environment. Someone that I'm supporting very strongly right now is Barbara Boxer, who's running for Senate in California. You know, environment is definitely a big one for me.
What about abortion? Are you involved in that?
Yeah, pro-choice.
Pro-choice. Have you ever? Well, I won't ask you that because you're underage. But no. Yeah, I'm going to get her locked up. That'll be a nice thing. I have her on my show, and the police cuff her and take her away. Well, do you have a boyfriend?
No, not right now.
No. Is it hard for someone, you're very smart, you're very successful? Who do you meet? And you work all the time. I mean, you can't just go like and hang out somewhere because they know who you are. Is it very tough to meet?
You know, it's really not that tough, and I don't work all that much because we work really easy hours. So, you know, occasionally I have dated guys and I've never had a problem, you know. Just right now I'm very happy being single. Isn't that what everybody who's single says?
Yeah, right.
Very happy to be single.
What about your mother? Is she very strict? Strict who you go out with? Liberal?
No.
What was your bringing up?
I think it was very liberal. It was more strict when I was younger, and then as I got older, you know, I got more privileges and more things like that. But my mom is very liberal-minded.
Was there anything you think she was too liberal?
Nope.
You know, because Melissa, my daughter, became very conservative because she would say, I want to pierce one ear. I'd say, oh, put 6 holes in. Or she would say, I want to do a blue streak. Why not do the whole head red, blue, and white? It's Halloween. It's Christmas. So I found that we work just the opposite from that.
Right. Well, I think I'm a little bit more liberal than my mom is, and in appearance-wise, I think a lot. So that was never really the case.
Who do you think is cute? If you could date anybody in the biz?
Oh, God.
If they can be married.
No, but see, then I'll have to meet them, and I'll be really embarrassed because I know that
Oh, someone you wouldn't meet, even like a different era. Who would you have thought was adorable?
Jim Morrison, maybe?
All right.
That's saved. He's dead, so I'm okay.
Well,
won't be meeting him.
A lot of people think he's living with Janis Joplin in Paris, and Elvis is singing to them as we talk. We'll come back and talk with more in a moment, so please stay with us.
As a cool mom, I want to save you from some of the embarrassment that Becky went through, so I'm just going to go ahead and bring... We are
back. Yeah, talking with Sara Gilbert. She's hilarious. Who writes a lot of the scripts? Does she come in with a lot of ideas, Roseanne? She's got to, because it's so much her humor.
Yeah, I think a lot of the ideas come from Roseanne.
I'm talking to you, and you know, they said to me when they were briefing me this morning about you, you're a deadhead. No.
Well, no.
No, all right, so they briefed me wrong? You don't like...
No, see, what that comes from is I did an article where the Grateful Dead came up, and they ended it with me saying, you know, your first Dead show is really a wild experience or something, which is true.
All right.
However, I'm not a big Grateful Dead fan.
Oh, okay. Who are you a big fan of?
I'm a big fan of Pink Floyd, David Bowie, older stuff like that, and I'm also a fan of folk music, like newer folk stuff, and also some alternative.
What do you mean by alternative? Give me...
Like Pearl Jam and...
That's... well, good. Three people agree with you. All right. And you're also... And I mean, like, everything about you is so smart. You're a vegetarian. How did that happen? Is your mom a vegetarian?
Thank you again.
Obviously a vegetable grower.
No, my mom's not. Well, she pretty much is, but I'm a strict vegetarian for mostly environmental reasons.
What about things that you think about? Like, because you certainly have ideas. What about Sinead O'Connor, that whole controversy? You obviously are very much your own woman, even at 17. You've got your own ideas, your own thinking. This is my life. What about Sinead O'Connor when she ripped up the Pope's picture? Do you think that was a smart, stupid? I mean, we all have statements, but do you think to do a statement like that on the air is right, wrong?
Right. I mean, you know, she has her own free will, and I respect that. But I think for my own personality, I won't be doing that. So, I mean,
you're Jewish,
think,
right?
Yeah.
You can rip up the rabbi's picture of the local temple. Rabbi Schwartz, you're through.
I just think there's limits to, you know, basically I am a performer, and so I tend to limit the extent of my radical political statements, I guess.
What about family life, private life? You've been through, you come from a solid family, but not hard times, too bad times. Your mother divorced, right? How old were you at that point?
6.
6. Was it very rough for you?
Not at all. It was, you know, I was very young, and my mother and father get along very well, and, you know, I get along great with my dad. So.
What about Melissa's divorce? Are you close? Are you still close to Melissa, or is she kind of? I love her. I love your whole family. Like the more I know. But how was that with her? Was that hard for her, or also amiable?
I guess, yeah. I mean, I don't. It's just like happening now, so I don't really know all the details quite yet. But I think everything's going very smoothly.
What about your whole life? You have everything. You on a hit show, lots of money. Syndication now is going to make you not rich maybe for life, though I know your mother probably, but it'll make you certainly, comfortable for life. Am I right? What do you want to do? Do you want to do anything like just crazy and wild? You want to go out and, like if I had all the money in the world, I would buy Versailles and live there. I would just absolutely, what is your fantasy? What would you just like to do that's just...
Well, yours is good. That'd be cool, you know. That works for me.
Would you like to come and help me rearrange the fountains? What would you like to do? Different car? I mean, what's your silly idea now that you'd like to do?
Well, my silly idea now that I'd like to do, which my mom wants to kill me for, is I want to get a motorcycle.
Yeah, all right. Okay. With trainer wheels? All right, that's... And you don't think she'll let you?
Well, you know, no, she won't let me until I'm 18.
Yeah.
And then I'll just get one. She thinks I'm going to die if I get a motorcycle.
Yeah, well, you got to be very careful.
Yeah, you do.
We'll be back with more in a moment, so please stay tuned. Sara, Gilbert, I got you, before we even continue, because it's sitting here between us, obviously, we wanted to get you a gift for your dorm room, so you should open it up and see what that's.
Thank you. Actually, I have a gift that I brought for you.
Oh, isn't that nice? Ah, fabulous. That's great. Great. Open yours.
Oh, I see. It's one of these trick.
It's a Lava-Lamp.
Thank you very much.
Now, do you find that attractive?
I love it. I had one exactly like this, and I broke it.
Oh, it's just obscene. It's like something from it's something like, what was that? Alien 2 was like what came out of her stomach. I mean, it's...
But see, that's the beauty of it.
What about if I followed you around with a video camera all day? What would surprise me about you?
Just about nothing, I don't think. You know, I think I'm pretty straightforward, and anything that would be at all surprising, I wouldn't say, because, like, my mom's here.
Yeah. But does anything surprise you about yourself? Do you ever say, oh, my gosh?
Not really, no.
What about your dream project? If you could do any kind of a project now, any kind, what would you do? Money's there to be used, whether it's television or theater or movie.
Right. I'd like to direct a drama feature film, and something maybe a little bit controversial, a little bit on the cutting edge, something that might shock some people but enlighten some people.
Last thing I want to ask you, because I think you're just terrific and smart. I think you're going to do just great in Yale. What's your vice? What's your one vice, if you could clear it up today, you would say, gee.
I have a few vices, I guess.
Give me what you think.
I'm always late.
All right.
That's a big vice. I guess that's kind of a vice.
Oh, that's a terrible vice.
Yeah.
Terrible. Terrible if they're waiting for you and it's raining.
Right.
You know, that's it. What about smoking? Do you smoke? You're a vegetarian and you smoke?
I know, but I'm quitting.
All right.
It was an awful thing that I got into, and I vow now, so you guys, if you see me in a couple months and I'm still smoking, then
That's trouble. Well, I thank you very much. I hope we see you again. Good luck with Gail. We'll have this cool. This thing also is hot, right?
Yeah, because there's a light in it.
Yeah. Ugh. I thank you so much. Thank you very much. It's the ugliest thing ever. We'll be back with more gossip, gossip, gossip. So stay with us. Thank you very much.